Unfortunately, there's no prize for first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, or eighth joining. Ninth, maybe, but not any of the others. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Sound off in chat. Yep, these filters are preset. PG-13 max. You can see me and you can hear me. That's great. That's 2 for 2 on a Friday. So I'll give it another minute and let people join in. I'm seeing 62 people right now. And we'll let people watch the ads first because that helps support the stream. So how's everybody doing this Friday? Hey, Clumsy. All the names starting to show up. There's Engelstein. Got Schmid. Yes, the narrator from the trailer for Fur, Fins, and Felons. So we'll get started. Since now it looks like we've got a lot of the regular names in. We've got almost 400 viewers. That's a pretty good start. So TGIF, everyone. My name's Cale, though, on site, as I've got highlighted here. You probably know me as kftiger, and you've perhaps accidentally tuned into the Friday Civitai Creative Community stream. If you meant to be here, awesome. And if you didn't, stick around. It's going to be fun. This is my first time streaming and hosting here as Civitai's new social media manager, following last week's, sentimental handoff stream with Tyler. And while I've been the guest on his stream a number of times, this is my first go at actually hosting the stream. And I decided to make it more of a challenge by actually not lining up a guest for my first stream. So it's just me. I mean, if you don't already know me on the site, what I'm showing here is my profile on Civitai. I made a lot of wild, wacky, weird, wonderful models, as well as a number of videos featured in Project Odyssey Season 2. And if you've just tuned in, since it looks like one of the mods doesn't know what Civitai is, perhaps you've randomly clicked on the stream or found a recording with a cool title or a graphic that drew you in. We're a large platform for the creation and sharing of AI-generated art and tools to make that art. We've got multiple millions of users on site, along with nearly 100,000 users on the community Discord, which is discord.gg/Civitai. So if you're watching on Twitch or any of our social media sync streams, come check out civitai.com and check out our Discord. Currently, we're streaming twice a week with our community engagement manager, Ali, streaming office hours updates every Wednesday, and myself doing these creative community streams on Fridays. If you're on Twitch, you can see the times for those booked in the calendar. And that's my intro to it. And Discord does have memes. I recommend that. So I thought I'd kick off with just a bit of that introduction and ask the chat to start off, if there are any questions and answers more related to, this stream or my joining the stream. And then I'm going to get into a bit of a training session, keeping it simple with Flux training for a style. And I wait and see what pops up. The handsome octopus is Ultros, which is a model I've made as well. It was originally a kind of a mini boss character in Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, I'm not in charge of, maybe I've broken the site, but I'm not in charge of fixing it. I don't know if I've broken it, can't tell. But luckily Jomsy's here in chat to make sure if anything goes crazy. What vodka am I drinking? It's just water, sadly. As a guest, I think I could drink beer, but now that I'm actually on staff, I don't think I'm allowed. I haven't actually asked, but I figured I wouldn't do the first stream that way. Yeah, it was a good question, Eaglestein. I'm pretty sure I'm being washed, and if I could chug vodka like that, I don't think I'd be in any position to be streaming anyways. So without any further questions, I'll start getting into the content here. This is a model that I made yesterday, and I thought it would be a good kickoff stream to show just how easy it is to train a Flux-style LoRa. This is a model that I trained off of really bad artwork. Yeah, and try not to bait me too much. I might fall into it. But if you've ever been to a thrift store and walked around and seen some of the $5 art prints that are for sale and thought, who would buy those and who painted them? I might not have the answer to that, but now I've created a way for you to be able to make your own. So we're going to go through step by step how to gather the data for something like this, how to train it on Civitai, how to pick which one to put forward, how to prompt it, and then how to use it. I've already trained this and posted to the site because I don't think anybody really wants to sit here and watch me stream for 1 or 2 hours waiting for all the epics to come through. But I could play some Slay the Spire or something and do that sometime. So the way I started this one was looking for really bad artwork. It turns out there's actually an entire museum dedicated to this. I forget which state it's in, but it's called the Museum of Bad Art. And these are a few of the pictures that I used to train this model. I only used 21 pictures. So very good abstract. Some dogs dancing. I'm not even quite sure what that is. Some great looking people. Former president. That's a dog licking. Yeah, some of these might have been from Stable Diffusion 3. Another dog. That's a weasel, I suppose. And that's pretty much half the data set right there. They're high resolution enough. They're in different perspectives. So they can be a bit more vertical, a bit more horizontal. Flux doesn't really care too much about any of that. I suppose one of those, if you look the right way, could look like some nudity was there. Yeah, there's some great artwork. But as you can see from the examples I've just shown, these are the examples of the images generated using the LoRa I'm about to show you how to make. And they look pretty on par with that. They might look a little too nice, maybe. But you've got 4 fingers here. You've got all the smudge marks you could ever want. Fine detail going to the face here. Ultros is a little high quality, maybe, yeah. I'm going to go picture in picture so you can see this a little clearer. Yeah. Since Ali might be watching, that might be one he wants to see. Nice 6 toes there. And who knows what's going on with that foot. So these are some of the results from that. And you can see it definitely took the style. You could go a little further with this, but I thought this was a nice landing point for it. Like Walter White here with 4 fingers in one hand and cropping fingers there. So how do we get here? Well, if you're new to Civit and you've made an account and you have some buzz, maybe not this much, but if you go to the Create tab and go to Train a LoRa, you're presented with your choices here. You can either make a character, a style, or a concept. In this case, we're going to do a style. While I'm training this to do bad, paintings, you can use this technique for good art, or whatever you want. So we do thrift, store, artist, flux, version 2. Then click next. In this case, use images that you have the rights to. And I'm just going to drag straight from that folder that I made of examples. And so it's loaded them all in, but you can see there's no tags, no captions, anything at this point. And if I go a little too fast anytime, do let me know. If there's questions in chat, I'll try to look over. So we switch it over to caption mode because we're using Flux, so we don't need to do tags. And generally, I'll go to the auto label. I'll usually keep the temperature the same, but I'll bump up the max new tokens. Yeah, the trouble is there's nobody to argue with me, as Taschen Format mentions. Sometimes, I'm hoping, and I will definitely do more streams with guests so that we can have a bit more contrasting opinions, but for now, it's me. And this works for me, and it should work for you. I'll bump up the max tokens a bit just to get a bit more detail in, but in this case, for this kind of style, probably doesn't matter too much. Then we'll submit it, and we'll cross our fingers and hope the auto caption's working right now. There's always a chance it doesn't, and oh, there it goes. All right. We got lucky, first try. So it's going through, it's doing some auto labeling. So now you can see all the pictures have received a caption. All of them kind of describe everything in detail here. First try every time. This was not edited, this was live. A new feature that has, I think it's been a few weeks now, but you can, if you really want to get into the details, you can click zoom in now and get a better perspective of the images done and full-size captions. But in this case, we're going to be lazy. We're going to do this the lazy KFT way. So, and this is going to be maybe the most surprising shock part of all this, so I'll take a sip. All you really need to do is copy a couple of these. So find the start of it. This is a painting creating an expressionist style, depicting. We'll start with that. Usually I'll copy it into a text file, but I'll copy a few of these. This is a vibrant impressionist painting in acrylic on canvas, depicting, and that's where I'll stop. And usually I'll pick 3 or 4 of these that sound good and just take it up to the point where it starts describing what's actually in the picture. Hey, Chrono. Hey, Pixel Pusher. Good to see you guys. Yep, we're creating LoRa's live. So I can't quite show, but I will show how I trained the last one and which captions I used for that. But for now, I'll copy those to a text file and just save it for the next step. We will say I have the rights to all these images and go next. This will create the package and get it ready for the trainer. So in this case, it's pointing out that we've got caption images and SDXL works best with tags. That's because it's automatically picked SDXL. So we're creating a Flux LoRa, so we want to click Dev. So that's gone away now. So here, sample image prompts, that's where we use the text we had before. So like I said, I'll copy probably 3 different ones of this, whether it be an expressionist style, um, whatever the other ones were. And then I'll type in something afterwards that, you know, it'll either be Bowser and Princess Peach kissing, or Xenomorph eating pizza. Generally, you want to make things that you'd know what it looks like. So, it could be Shrek eating onions, could be a cat doing something. Like I used to use in most of my pony and illustrious models, the cat aiming a gun. And that, as it goes through the epochs or epics, I'm not sure what the debate is on that one, but I usually call them epochs. And that'll give you a chance to see, what they look like on every step. So the only thing we're going to change here in the training parameters is I'll usually turn up the epochs, usually something to like 25. I'll use one much lower, but you might as well go further through the steps than default in case you do need something a little further. Usually I'll turn up the network dim by 1 or 2. If it's a style, it's not going to matter too much, but if you keep it lower, you might need a higher epoch in the end. In styles, you can flip augmentation. I don't know what the max is. Yeah, it looks like we can't quite do, that's not going to work. We can't do 9 billion steps. But something like 25 should work. Yeah, I can just blow all my buzz on one training right here, right now. But like I said, flip augmentation, if you're doing a style, can usually be all right too. I wouldn't use this if you're training a character unless they're completely symmetrical, because this will train, do a step through training and then flip the image backwards. So if something is meant to be right-handed, left-handed, something like that, you'll run into problems. But in this case, we're dealing with screwed up art anyways. So this can help train it even more, consistently to the style. So I'm not going to hit submit at this point because it's already trained. We'll go all the way back here, but I'll show you the results. So after it's gone through training, which usually takes around an hour, you'll get some steps like this. Yeah, and my hope is for this stream to show you it doesn't take that much to get something good out of Flux. As I know, if Schmid's here, he's the one who's told me he spends a lot of time making sure the captioning and everything's perfect. Calling him out right now, and hopefully he's watching this and face palming to realize it could be really easy. So in this case, I did use 3 different captions to start off. A vibrant expressive painting on canvas depicting a scene, a vibrant expressive painting of Shrek, with a realistic yet stylized depiction, and a surreal abstract style. And this is the first epic. You can see it's already started to take on some of the look of it, but by the 3rd one, it's absolutely, starting to see that terrible style. And each one from here on up starts looking a little bit more like what we're looking for. By 9, 11, 13, this is the one I actually ended up going with, because at strength 1, which is what these are showing, this is, how it looks in low resolution. And that, to me, looking through the epics myself, I thought this is the one that represents what I want to make. But if you keep going on, it still looks good. And in this case, looking good is looking bad. But, 15 would probably be good too. 17 is looking a little more abstract. The alien doesn't look so much like an alien. A lot more spirals are showing up. Shrek is looking quite handsome. And then it gets a little more messy from here on up. 21, could be a kindergartner graphic. 23, who knows what's going on now? We're getting a pizza party going on. Shrek's got company. 25 seem to have recovered a little bit, but still not the results we'd want. But in this case, maybe. If you wanted a really abstract one, go with that higher one. And so this model is the result of that training, using that prompt there of the image is a vibrant, expressive painting on canvas depicting subject. And each of these was prompted that way with this model at one strength. I did it all locally. So that's why it's showing flux 1 dev hyper NF4 instead of just regular flux. But all these images look kind of like ones you'd find at a thrift store or garbage bin or your grandma's house. So what you do after picking out the one you want to go with, like say we want to go with Epic 13 here. You can download it. That's what you'd start off with if you want to test it locally. And then that's how I do it. Download, try it locally, see how it looks. Try the ones up and above it and below it. And then once you realize or pick out which one you want to go with, you can just click continue. And that brings you through the steps of picking up, which prompts you want to use, how you want to describe the model itself. And this is the screen for that. It'll ask you, which version you want to put up. If there's, this is the wrong one. This is version control. Edit model. So this is a style it was trained as. You add in some tags. In this case, I don't know if tags are fixed yet. It doesn't seem to find them, but it works. So I've got artwork, painting, canvas, crappy art, amateur art, thrift store. Nothing offensive in tags. They might get taken down. And, I can probably take this part out now because we're live. And then you get the description part. In which case, some people don't put any descriptions. I like to put something. I actually often have Claude 3.7 help draft these up. And, the way it's written, the first model trained exclusively to generate paintings that make you say, someone's grandmother paid actual money for this. Specializes in transforming any concept into inexplicably haunting imagery featuring anatomically questionable wildlife, suspiciously large-eyed children, or seascapes where the waves appear to be defying not just physics, but the very concept of water itself. Each creation comes complete with poorly executed perspective, at least one element that appears to have been added as an afterthought. Is that a bird or just a smudge? And that special quality that makes you wonder if the artist has ever actually seen. Oh, well, that's not good, Claude. They're painting. Yeah, from what I've heard, it is a removal offense to not include a description, but I've seen a lot of models that have, maybe gibberish text as a description. Yeah, there. And what I also like to include is kind of a range of strength for it. So in this case, I found it works really well between 0.8 and 1.0 strength. Usually when you post a model, you want to aim at that 1.0 because if people are remixing a picture or, hitting create, they don't often want to change the strength or often they don't know how to. It's pretty easy on the site, but many don't. And then prompting, this is the prompt I found worked the best for creating that style. And that's all you need. You can add whatever text after this and it'll put in that style. I've got a showcase collection for all my flux styles. If you want to use it on the site, you want to sell generated images, which allows it to be used on Civitai generation service. And other best practice on this is, under details, there's version details as well. And as you go through creating the model, this will bring it'll bring you through this as part of the process too. You want to make sure it is the right base model, but that'll be automatic if you trained it and it's coming in through from the trainer. You can put version changes or notes, often useful if you've done something like merging models or, this is version 2, what's new? You can add trigger words. Some models don't have them, but even with captions, I like to put something in here saying the image is a vibrant, expressive painting on canvas depicting subject. This is automatic if you bring it from the trainer, and I've set the recommended strength to 0.9. From there, you've got your model. You can see what other people have made already. There's some good examples. Quite a fan of the Cinderella here. Well, that's a great Sonic. Is there any benefit to not having a trigger word? I mean, that's tough to say. Depends on what type of model. I've made styles that you didn't need that, but I usually like to include them at least as kind of a reinforcement piece. Like I couldn't say that it is best practice, but I consider it my own best practice. I've noticed that a few users will look into the version details. Oh, I can actually do this, right? Does this show up? Yeah, okay. I noticed that a few users will look into the version details since you have to click and expand it. So I generally add version details in the main description. Yeah, it's good to do. If even, I don't often do it with the first version. I will do it with the second one if I've changed something, but it is good practice to do that. My first Flux Laura was without a trigger and it was unruly. That can happen too. Sometimes if you pick an epic that's far enough down the line, like if I went with 25, you might not need a prompt to help that out. And it does help, to have, especially if you're posting a model, to make sure that the ones that's okay. I'm just looking at the screen, not the camera. As long as you can still see me, kind of. But another best practice I would say for posting a model on the site is make sure the pictures that are going in your first gallery here, your feature gallery, make sure that they have captions. Because a lot of the time, myself included, I'm lazy. I might look at a picture and say, remix. And, instead of saying this, I just want to say this is going to be depicting a scene of a cat and a dog dancing together. And I'll set the seed to random. Yeah, I can also remove that. This comes default from Forge, which I was generating locally with. Best practice would probably be remove this piece from your model before posting it. I didn't do that. Shame on me. Yeah, Comfy UI, that's where the struggle area is. I know there's extensions for Comfy UI that can add in Civitai tagging. I do use Comfy. I just don't use it for Flux right now. For my regular Flux models, no, but I use Comfy for a lot of other stuff. But like I can see with Lamb Emmy's posts that the tags didn't come through. Some people delete them, and some people, Comfy UI might not bring them through. Now this one, which uses Flux, Thrift Store Artist, and Thanos, does bring it through. I am saving these as PNG, but that's kind of what Forge defaults as. If you're saving images out of Civit, they will come out as JPEGs. Or say for this one, yep, it's got the whole prompt here. Yeah. Florence is also a really good tool for captioning, like if you want to do kind of an image to image. There it is. That's my first 69. So here, I went and remixed that one, left in this part, which, this doesn't actually care too much. But now it's a scene of a cat and a dog dancing together. This, that's what you might find somewhere. This one's even signed by Stamugel. Very whimsical. These ones, not much difference from taking off that text. Yeah, we blended in together here. But that shows, I've made a lot of LoRa's, tons with Flux, and it's easy to kind of overanalyze before all this, before you get into it, to think, okay, how many pictures do I need? How strong of a style do I need to make? And really, you don't need much. I'll show you a different model that I made the other day. That kind of concludes the tutorial part, still reading questions and everything, but now it's kind of more the discussion if you have questions, etc. But this is a series of artwork, based off a series of artwork where there's only, I believe, 6 art prints total. But I have 2 of them on my walls, and I've always liked them, and I want to make more. So this is trained off, I believe, 6 images. This one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 2 of them, are pretty similar. And so this is only trained off that many images. But the results are still good. It took more epochs to get there. But, this one, you only, I found the good prompt for it. I left in a bracket here, didn't break it. But this one's a lion. This one's an eagle. This one, I'd have to check. 28 epochs, 1428 steps. Yeah. But I'll have to check which one I actually used. The clown. But you can see, even at only using 6 images or so, it did keep that same style. Shrek, even, yeah. I could probably prompt a bit more of a style there. Pink Panther. This one obviously just kind of copied itself. Sonic. Kind of a messed up Pikachu. But it's quite easy to do something that works in Flux with only a few pictures. And pretty basic captioning. So at this point, I'll see if there's any questions in chat. If there's any questions about this training session, any ideas. Also, this is my first stream with Civit, as more than just a guest. So I'd like to get your suggestions for things you'd like to see, because, hey, I might have a plan for next week, and that's coming together. I think that's going to be a cool one. But, you're the viewers. What do you want to see? What is your favorite color? It's actually red. Yeah, it's just red. Truck. That's not a question. That's a statement. But, if there is interested in, some of the video side, these are all PGs. Okay. I've made a number of videos, including this one about trucks. All right, if there's no audio, then I'll just drop it in chat. I recommend checking it out. It's an ad for a truck. That's it. But I've made a number of these videos, and if this is something people are interested in seeing more of or learning more about, yeah, I'm happy to go through that kind of workflow too. And as Civit starts moving more and more video models onto the site, they're working on Wan and they're working on Hanyan. They have LTX, which is runs really fast and runs cheap. We can use Cling and everything with APIs, but they're pretty standard wherever. But I'm excited to see Wan come on, because then you can actually use LoRa's as well. My hope is. Want to know what the video generators can do? Yeah, I think that might be a good stream as well, just to show what you can do with each of them. I think you could share a few hints for video gens with Comfy with your badge workflow. I mean, haven't really made that too public yet, but if it's a tool we use, I'd probably post the workflow. I've made a Comfy UI workflow to help animate badges on Civit. So that actually uses LTX because it's quite lightweight. In time, if we start using that, I think it would be cool to post that workflow itself on the site and talk through it. And I'm sure the community, which knows Comfy UI far better than I do, could probably make something better of it. I'm sure they could improve what I've put together. And I'll go to a slightly bigger screen. No, not that one. That's too big. We'll go picture in picture then. Can I switch this off? If I turn these, that's better. Okay. Winter break is over already. Yep. I'm upstairs, so this is going to be a furnace in a month or so. Yeah, Wan is really exciting. I've used some of it, locally myself because I have a 3090, but the fact that it can work on a normal computer as well, which Hanyan kind of struggled for me. Even 24 gigs of VRAM wasn't quite enough. But I know they're working on Wan, for the website. I think that's going to be really exciting, and I'll definitely have a stream planned when that's gone live. Any other questions, suggestions, thoughts, comments, compliments, insults? No mention of the auction system. Ah, shit, I mentioned it. I mean, jinxed it myself. Compliment, doing great, sweet. Do bingo, can't. It's just not set up that way. I've got a list of all the Project Odyssey. Yeah, so these are all the Project Odyssey videos I made. So I'll link the article which links to those. Where's your staff hoodie? It's in Calgary right now, which means it should get here Monday. He plans to revive the bingo. I mean, if we can find a way to make that work, I know we can go through Twitch itself to do that. It was a lot of fun. And, it ended up with me getting hired, so that was cool. The bikini got lost in the mail. The hoodie's still on its way. Throw one of your thrift store paintings into Cling, see if it does anything. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, good, Flux is buzzing. Go video. Oh, clear that out. That was PG. Let's go through my files. Yeah, somebody in Calgary walking around with my bikini. That picture is posted. It is PG-13, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it's going to take too long. I'm, with Lightrix and everything, I think it runs the risk of, by default, becoming not safe for work. So Just maybe another stream for that one. I didn't set up the video stuff, so it might not be safe. Lightrix seems to take its own path sometimes. But maybe I'll make some and post them. So I'll start wrapping it up then. Say happy Friday. I'm really glad you guys came to join. If you have any other thoughts, feedback, comments, you can always leave a comment in my articles or message me. Yeah, Lightrix, because it accepts not safe for work, sometimes it gets a bit random. And I really appreciate you guys and girls from coming on and joining the stream. It went by pretty quick. We're not going to go through new Loris. I can go through mine because I know they're safe. But I can keep going for 20 minutes and just start streaming some games or something, but I don't see the need. But if you have suggestions for a stream, if you have other ideas, if you make cool models and you want to be a guest on the stream, or you have something unique, I'm starting to get a list together of people that are interested and people that would be, have some interesting things to show off. Because that way, we can more easily make it to an hour if it's not just me talking. Yeah, Celeb Laura is probably not. I don't think we'll do much on that. I made one and I didn't feel good about it myself. Stable Diffusion 3.5 training, probably not. I mean, you can do it and it works like Flux, but nobody's going to use it. Oh, okay. We got some more posts. Let's check that out first. There we go. It's a mix of nice looking, but still with some weird distortion. There's Truck. I wonder who that might be. There's Daz. That's a nice puppy. Cyberpunk. I like the car. It's quite nice. Yeah, it's I would probably buy that at a thrift store for $3. Fuzzy cute creature. They are fuzzy, yeah. This was quite good as well. It seems to be pretty good on consistent 4 fingers or 6 fingers, just never 5. And I am using a green screen, so this was kind of fun because I could make my own backgrounds. This is actually the one I was using. This one is, of course, the chair's in the way. This is a picture I made using this Laura. I could just have straight up Ultros of the Garden. I haven't received any Civitai official background yet. It's all magic. Yeah, official green screen. Don't actually have a giant poster of Ultros behind me. Yeah, it's not the best way of crucifying, but he's definitely looks like he has a headache from this. Yeah, he's got his tentacles right on me. So yeah, I look forward to seeing more posts on these. Thrift store artist, this is a good way of showing just how easy it is to train something like a Flux style. I've been posting more my models most recently. No, not so much styles. I've been posting more concepts. So if there's interest in learning how any of these were trained, I can do that for sure. I really like the roadside attraction architect one. Yeah, I should give that tutorial too. This is PG-13, which I think is okay. I was told it's okay. But this is a Flux model that, as a concept, it turns whatever you prompt into huge things that you'd find at a roadside attraction, like if you're driving through some, middle states, and they really wanted people to pull over. I made the world's biggest butt, but that's not PG, so that's not showing up. And honestly, some of the posts people put on this one are some of the funniest ones I've seen. World's largest invisible man. I think he's got an animated one of this too. Yeah, large axolotl. Some aliens. Here's the ones I'm looking for. World's largest micro SD card. World's largest road work ahead sign. This one's kind of hard without zooming in, but it's the world's largest terms and conditions. This one, probably my favorite, from the talented Blink, who I think is here. But there's very small text here. Oh, Christ. That's a lot of spam. Happy Friday, spammers. By standing here, you agree to everything. That's quite clever. That's a lot of bots in one time. I mean, I make models for fun. My brain comes up with random concepts, and from there, it's pretty much just, yeah, I think I can train that. I can make that. I think that would be funny. Parade floats, cardboard cutouts, welcome mats. I've made some more interesting styles and everything like that, but you can still, we'll see how much fun I can still make of everything, but mewing Laura. No, I think that one's up to you. Yeah, the welcome mats, that was a really popular one, Go to that one last here. Yeah, this was just a concept trained off of some creative welcome mats. Trained pretty lightly in Flux. I don't think it took many epics to get to here. I sad faced my own, apparently. Yeah, the what if is the good traction for it. If you have the buzz, this one includes my cat, but some very strange feet going on here. This one includes my dog model. It's canon. The more you post it, the more canon it becomes. People can accept it. So yeah, I'll drop my profile link in chat. In case you haven't followed me yet, feel free to, or don't. It's all good. I'll be here. But it's appreciative of Civitai, because I've taken what I've enjoyed in the last year of training models and making funny stuff to the point where I was able to join Tyler on stream 4 times, and to the point where when he made his decision to move on, that the team came to me asking if I was interested in carrying the torch from him. And after, didn't take too much thought, but thought, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoy it, and I want to make sure these streams are fun too. And that's a big part of that's the community aspect, and it's really good seeing everybody in chat. Hopefully, I've helped you know teach you just how easy it can be to train a style. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Now that we're finishing the stream, I can have my beer afterwards. And I think I've almost made it to the hour mark. Oh, we're about 10 minutes off. But just want to say thanks again for tuning in. I look forward to seeing what you train. If you post it on Civit, feel free to tag me. I'd be curious to see it and try it out. And if you have questions on, how easy it is, well, hopefully you can see. You almost made it, Hardy. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Cheers, everybody.